Every chess player should know that threats in chess are multi-layer. What I mean is you don't have to only see the threat, but you also have to know how to defend against the threat. So this video has 3 layers of difficulty. This one is the beginner, the second one is intermediate, and the third one is so hard that even grandmasters I've given this position to, they couldn't solve the defense against the threat, and they lost. The first level 1 example is this one where white goes queen c3. So what is a threat? So for a lot of people, they can see that the queen and the bishop are doing a battery on g7, trying to checkmate the black king. So there's multiple ways to defend, but there's a lot of ways to get it wrong. So let's say we go knight f5. This is really wrong because g4 happens, attacking the knight, and knight goes away, which is probably should because the pawn will take it. Then there'll be checkmate on g7. They remove the guard from g7, and we lose the game. So I like to do another one. Have you guys pause the video if you don't see it. But the defense I like to do is f6 to blunt this bishop and queen battery, and there's no problem at all. There's also queen g4 if you want to, but at the end of the day, you can choose your flavor of defense, but you want to see a defense that's adequate, not f5, not ignoring the threat. You want to make sure that you don't miss out. So the second level 1 threat scenario is when black goes e5. You already see that black goes e5, and the question is, you ask yourself, what is a threat? And I'll give you 3 seconds. If you pause the video for one more time. 2, 1. A threat is if I go something like rook e1, there's e4, a pawn fork that is attacking the bishop and knight, and we lose the minor piece for a pawn. That would be not good. So how do you defend it? How do you defend against a threat? The defense is multiple things. You can take the pawn on e5, you can do pawn e4, and there's multiple ways to queen c2, and any of those things are good as long as you don't fork yourself with a pawn e4. That'll be bad. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Make sure that you're safe and you don't get basically attacked by the pawn. The third scenario of level 1 is when black goes this fancy queen move, queen takes d3. And obviously you don't want to do this one because you know why? Do you see the problem why queen take on there and the rook will take there? Why is this rook takes d3 not a move? And if you notice that the back rank of the king side is actually bad for the king, and you lose the game because rook e1 checkmate, and we actually lose the game. So how do we defend against this threat of taking the rook and distracting the rook from the defense of the first rank? So you can think about it, pause if you need more time. 2, 1. So you can do passive things like rook f1. That's actually totally acceptable, but I like to prefer maybe queen b3, saying that I want to make sure to defend the rook with a queen, and we don't need to worry about any pressure. You can do something like h3 or g3 to make some left, and then take the queen if you want to. So that is a really good thing. So now we'll move on to level 2 threats, more difficult, more deep. Let's say if white goes rook d1. What is the purpose of that? What's he threatening? So let's say if it go rook d8, what can it do to win material? The scenario is a tactical motif called removal of the guard. So the queen is guarded by only a king, right? So if white does the threat, what is the threat? Tell me the threat in 3, 2, 1. The threat is removal of the guard by doing rook d7 check. And if they do something like silly, like rook e7 to block the check, then we just take this rook, and the queen, we notice, is pinned. We can't take back. We actually lose not just only a rook, we always also lose the queen, and we lose the game entirely. So we'll lose the king in a sense. So how you defend against this one? We don't do rook e8. We can do something like queen takes queen. Simply queen takes queen. And then we could do something like rook f8, rook f7. You can also do, if you want to, rook f8. If you do rook d7, rook f7 is just good enough. Again, there's multiple ways to defend, but you want to be aware of the defenses, not just doing something random and lose the game. The second scenario of defenses, when the queen goes to h6 here, what is white threatening to do if black does something silly? So if you not privy enough to see the, let's say, the threat, you're going to lose the game. So if you just doing something random, let's say, I don't know, a6, really, let's say, random, bishop g5. It's a skewer between the king and the rook, and we lose the rook wholeheartedly, and we lose the game later on. So, also, bad defense is rook a8. It's actually horrible because the tactic says bishop e5 check is winning material. It's a brilliancy. If the king takes the bishop, we have a problem with queen g5 check. If the king goes up, there's queen f5 checkmate. If it goes down, then this queen takes g6 check, king c7 to hover over the queen, then queen g7 check, and this is going to be a scenario that white picks up the rook on a8, and white has multiple pawns up. We're going to lose the game as black. So how do we possibly defend against this threat? So give yourself more time if you want to pause the video, but I'll just give you 3, 2, 1. So the threat is bishop g5, correct? So we can do rook d5, defend against the g5 square. You can do queen d5 check, is also defending g5 square, whichever one you want. And if you're worried about g5 check, don't worry about that at all. We can just do king f5, move up. King f5 is actually no more checks. They're really good. This one really crazy one, but there's no really serious thing. We're trying to take this bishop with a knight, and we're going to be actually safe and better here. So we defended, we stopped the threat, and we're going to be good here. So now the last scenario, level 3 threat, is where I gave this position to GMs, 3 GMs. 2 of them got it wrong. They couldn't defend themselves. And the third one got it right after thinking about it. But this is a complex one. This level 3, I will not tell you what white did. The thing is, you need to think about what would white do if we give him a move. You have to think about the creativity. You don't have a reference point of what was last move. Let's say there's a lot of scenarios you can point in your head what you could do if you have a scenario where you don't see it coming, but you had to imagine it on the spot. So imagine you're playing black. There's only one move to defend yourself, and you want to see the threat. You got to see it. If you want to pause the video, take your time. It's really take your time to see the threat. If black does something random, and what would be the problem for black, and you need to see the one defense for black. You see it now. So 3, 2, 1. So let's say if they do something like a6, random, right? Random, and then queen d1. Queen d1, it'll be going backwards. Backwards queen move. And the thing is, if the trade-offs queens, white is just totally, absolutely better, clearly better. And black cannot castle queenside because the bishop's there, right? This is basically a stoked king, and the rooks are disconnected. Therefore, we're playing essentially, in the metaphorical sense, we're down a rook. We're not having activated 2 rooks. We're actually doing 1, and one of them are not going to be actively playing the game. This rook in a8, for example, is not going to be in the game. So, how to defend against this queen d1 adequately and do proactive moves. So this is where the GMs were split on how to do anything. Only 1 out of 3 were able to find the defense about this big threat of queen d1 and just trading off the queens and winning the game for white. So the move is rook g6. If they go queen d1, the cool thing is we'll do rook takes f6. Rook takes f6, defend the queen. So if the queen is taken, we do rook takes f3. We have an extra piece. We're going to win the game. So if they take with a pawn, this is where we have to use our creativity. We have to do knight e5, saying that, okay, if I take with the queen now, you get a fork between the king and the rook, and we win the game that way. So, again, multi-layered tactics come into play. So, it's really nothing to do for, let's say, white. So, if there's something like b3, defend the b pawn, or the c pawn rather, then we something like this queen f4, trying to threaten this one loop-to-loop, and this game is pretty much over. And this is the 3 levels of threats and defense you need to know in order to save yourself from actual destruction. Basically, the rubric is identify your opponent's threat by the last move. If you see the threats, the next move, then that's perfect. Say that in your mind, if I skip my turn, what will my opponent do? Then you see it, I'll defend it because I'll find the resources. You want to be aware, step 1, be aware of the last move is the biggest hint. What's the next threat? If I skip my turn. Then you defend against the threat, then you win the game. You save yourself, you can actually help for survival. So hopefully you get this value of the video, like this video, and subscribe if you want to have more videos like this, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye now. Hey, check this video out to make sure that you get more important information to bring your chest to the next level.